Hi everyone, I'm Sam.
And I am Alex.
Welcome to Unit 5, Fake Lives Matter. Now, some would say that Professor Jessica Krug grew up in enviable circumstances. She grew up in a place called Overland Park, which is a suburb of Kansas City. It's known for its low crime rate and good public schools, I believe. It's a nice place to live, and it's not without diversity. Now, the Black and Latino communities are small and growing, and I believe the East Asian community is actually, the percentage is larger than the national average. In Overland Park, you can also see a large Jewish community, which can also be seen wearing traditional clothes and visiting the Orthodox synagogue. Now, somewhere along the line, Jessica Krug definitely longed for a more dramatic ethnic identity. But during her undergrad years, she was simply known as blonde-haired Jessica, but this changed. Synagogue.
If you were a friend of hers and you saw a picture of her many years later, you might be moderately surprised to notice that blonde-haired Jessica had now dyed her hair black and had tanned skin. Moderately. She was no longer Jessica Krug from the outskirts of Kansas City. Now she was Jessica La Bombalera from a tough New York City neighborhood. And she was no longer blonde-haired and white-skinned. She was Afro-Caribbean Boricua, that is, someone from Puerto Rico. Quite a change and pretty strange. And not only this, but she had become a professor of African American studies at George Washington University.
Talking about neighborhoods, how would you describe the neighborhood that you grew up in?
I would say my neighborhood when I was young was a quite working class neighborhood. Kids of moderate backgrounds, but also some middle class kids as well. But these days it has been gentrified a lot, so there is a lot more money in the neighborhood and the housing is more expensive.
Right. The same kind of things happen to my neighborhood. Definitely, I'm from a suburbs just outside of London. Whereas in the central town, definitely the gentrification has happened, but in the more residential area, nothing's really been touched yet. Gentrification. What about people who lie about where they're from? Do you know anybody like this? Have you ever come across somebody who's lied about their neighborhood or their home country?
Not to that scale. I think, yes, when I was younger, I had a friend who used to pretend he was American, and he used to say that his dad was American. And I remember asking his dad, and his dad just looked at me confused and said, no. That was pretty weird.
To be honest, I've lied about where I'm from. Because
really?
Here in South Korea, nobody knows my hometown.
Okay.
People in England don't know my hometown, so it's just easier to say I'm from North London. So that will do it for our preview section, and we'll see you in the review.